Oh, welcome back, Blade fans. This old sword with you once again. Welcome back to the channel for another review and overview, if you will. Um, this is a knife by Nitch Designs, and that's Nick Rogers. And this is the second knife I'm reviewing by Nitch Designs. The other one is by Artisan. I'll show you that in a moment. It's a little more fancy than this one. And this is the budget version of a slightly more expensive Egress knife. I'll show you some quick pics here on my phone. And so this is the Kansept knife, by the way. This is the 154 cm version, going for on Knife Center about 114. And notice the blades change, and they're all called the Egress. You got that version with like a notch cut out in the top, and you got this one, kind of a sheep's foot, and then you got that top version, which is going to be similar to the one I'm showing you today, except today is the budget version, which is going for only in the high 50s or 60 bucks at the most at White Mountain. And thanks, White Mountain. Anyway, let me rewind just a little bit. This one was provided for review by Kansept Knives. They contacted me and said they got a budget version of the Egress by Nitch Designs. Do I want to review it? I said, sure, send it along. So you get a pretty nice knife. Nice middle finger flicking knife, or front flipper if you choose. This one's in a black, and I did have a choice. I kind of like the contrast of the brass looking, if they are brass, hardware, and the black handle. It's a black G10 handle. Pretty straightforward knife as far as the construction goes. Let's see if we can back out, get a little more space here. So right about there. So I would call it kind of a cross between a cleaver and a Wharnie and maybe a sheep's foot. But this is the Egress, and Egress would be an outward motion. Ingress would be an inward motion. He likes to play with his language, which is cool. Got some jimping here, not extremely effective. My thumb sort of feels it, but slides right over it, because when you put jimping there, and it could be really for the front flipper, it kind of gets lost underneath the liner. And there even is a brass or brass colored stop pin. Stop pin. Liner lock, as I said, fairly smooth on the drop. Probably get it in one shake. There we go. Deep carry clip, not transferable to the left side. Oh, that's not good for you left-handers. It is a front flipper. I'm going to do that with my left hand because the right thumb is still rehabbing. So let's see if we can get it all in one flip. There we go. So it can be done even by me. However, I would prefer the opening hole. So with the opening hole, we can even roll it out, sort of. We can flip it out with the thumb, and we can, as I did earlier, middle finger flick it open. So let's look at it now that it's open. And why don't we take some measurements? Yes. It's a pretty good sized knife. It is about an 8.3 inch overall. And if we go right to there, it's like a 365 blade with a cutting edge of 3.5. Close as I'm going to get, because, you know, when you got kind of different shaped blades and different shaped handle terminations there, it gets to be a bit interesting. Not a thick knife, slim, 0.47. And the blade thickness, 0.13. And in millimeters, 3.3. And the weight, if I didn't say, this is 14C28N, so that's your budget steel for this particular model knife. It weighs up to be call it 4.3 ounces. Not particularly heavy. And that is because we've probably got some weight relieving on those liners. Let's take a peek if I can get my left hand in my pocket past my humongous MSI daily carry. There we go. So yeah, she's carved out on the inside there to reduce a little bit of that weight. Mainly on the show side, but certainly a little bit on the liner locking side as well. Got a T8 pivot, another T8 pivot, and I tried it, and the pivot does spin, so it is not locked in. It is not D-locked, not a D-shaped pivot, as would be nice to have. Hence, you need to put two T8s in there in order to adjust that pivot, which is maybe falling in with the budget level of the knife. One thing I did notice, ever so slightly, some lock rock, and you really got to grab it and try to move it in order to experience that lock rock. I think it's the black coating on both the liner and the blade that create a slippery surface. I don't think it's enough to even worry about. It's just that I always grab the blade when they get out of the box and just see how snug it is. So no blade play, just a tiny bit of lock rock. And what do we got for a lockup? We've got about 30% on the lockup, so it could wear in. That liner over time will walk across there as it opens and closes repeatedly. Got some jimping here, as you can see, which is actually, yeah, it's the same jimping no matter where you are on the blade. But it's interesting. Bastinelli does a lot of this, Bastion Cove, with this forward jimping, so that you could even, cut this way and have a little bit of friction there for your finger. So good sized knife, got about a little better than ½ an inch left over when I put it in my paw. And a little bit of a choil there, which sort of also relies on the front part of the frame, the handle. Definitely usable if you want to choke up. So middle finger there, index finger there. I said I had another Nitch Designs knife, and here is one designed by Nick for Artisan, and had to look it up. That is the Ahab, as in Captain Ahab and the whale, I would guess, because it's a harpoon. I think that all fits together. I think it's this Quiberta wood. Not sure what type of wood exactly. They don't always tell you, but it's very smooth, not nearly as grippy as the G10. And it's fancier with a nice titanium clip, hidden lanyard pin rather, and probably, no, that's steel. Yeah. Clip is titanium, however, I would guess, because it's not attracting the magnet. Lightweight knife and very slim. And size-wise, it's about the same size. About the same size. I know there was I think it was the Egress that Nick Rogers designed that was kind of a semi-custom. He might have I think he made some prototypes, and I saw him get handed around to like the Knife Junkie and a few other folks. But I think as a working knife, if you like that usable point there and that flat edge, speaking of that flat edge, I have not touched this edge, but we'll see. Yeah. Slicey. It's slicey. So you get a good edge out of the box. Speaking of the box, you get your usual Kansept flapped pouch, which is nice for a budget knife. And that is the budget level Egress. If you don't want this one, you can bump up the steel a little bit to 154 cm by almost doubling the price. So let me know what you think there, blade fans. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be back with you soon. Got a few more blades queued up here to show you. Take care.